So this is part 3 of our Jessup Lake tornado warning area for the 20th of April 2020. And earlier we looked at the 500 millibar chart from 12Z and the surface chart prog for 0Z this evening. And the 500 millibar chart had plenty of shortwave spinning across the northern third of Florida, or so 2/3 of Florida, out of a pretty well developed baroclinic low up over the Great Lakes area. So that, in conjunction with the cold front, which is going to be moving out of northern peninsula into the central peninsula over the next about 6-7 hours, is going to keep them in a very unstable, action-packed kind of neck of the woods down there. So by 8 o'clock local or 0Z, that front's going to be laying right across central Florida. So a lot of activity going to be in store for that area. So that's why we're looking at that particular area. And we saw the National Weather Service did issue a tornado warning for this cell, and it is not that one, it's this one right here. So they issued at 11:17 right there. This time is 11:06 on the radar, but it lines up pretty well. Radar rotation indicator is what they're issuing on. And once again, we saw that occluded hook, or the donut hole shape there. That's your updraft. This is the bounded weak ecoregion. And we did show that we had at least a minimal mesocyclone up through at least a 10,000 foot depth. So good on National Weather Service. They spotted this and they got their tornado warning out. No reports for tornadoes yet in Central Florida as of this time, but let's go ahead and bump it up. We don't have any kind of debris signature indicated. There's CC. See where the red dot is right there. I planted it like right about where we should see. There's our rotational couplet, kind of right at the apex of our rotational couplet. And we don't have any depression in CC at that point. So no debris launch or detected at that point. Once again, we're up pretty high. Our lowest cut is 0.6, and we're up at about 7,300 feet. So that would have to be pretty involved system to launch that debris that high in the atmosphere. So we will stay probably pretty far away from the radar. 4,500. We might see if we do get a touchdown, we might see some debris over here on this section of that storm track, as we'll be getting closer to the radar the further east we get. Let's bump it up a couple volume scans here. 1, 2. We're seeing our hook is still holding together and keeping that kind of occluded donut hole there. And our rotational couplet staying intact. NROT not real high. We're running just under 1, which is, it's registering, but still not even up to the weak neck of the woods yet. And let's take a quick look at our volume section over our cell here. We might even have what's called a V notch here. Let me run I just spotted that. I spotted it earlier, I just didn't talk about it. As we run our elevation cut up, so there's 0.6, 0.8, 1.2, 0.7, etc. You kind of see that V notch right there. So what that's indicating is a more intense blocking updraft on the forward flank, and the storm is moving faster than the updraft. So it's kind of trying to split around it or flow around it. It's called flow around object, or forward flank blocking updraft, in that case a V notch. Different than the enhanced V on satellite, not the same signature necessarily. I mean, they both could be evident in the same storm, but not produced by the same result. So just kind of keeping an eye on our rotation over here as we're bumping it forward. National Weather Service keeps the warning box intact there pretty much for the next couple frames. We still got our really wound up hook echo there. It's still occluded, getting closer to retrack my storm track there right over Sanford Airport. And they're currently at that point reporting 20 knots, so thunderstorms in 20 knots. Let's take a look at our volume section over that cell. And look at our beware now. So we've got a couple levels of bounded weak ecoregion, one down here up to around 25,000 feet or so. And then it looks like another one is going to be the rear flank downdraft right here. We got another one right up here, up around 40,000 maybe. Yep, 40,000. So pretty intense. We can also look at our storm relative velocities here. It's kind of difficult to get a good balance because it's the alpha table filters both ends at the same time. I don't know what the alternative to that would be, but I like it anyway. So we can kind of, all right, so all those are showing up as inbounds at that point. And we have to really lower our filter to start seeing some outbounds. At least in the tail. There we go. So they're kind of lining up there. There we go. There's good vertical extent on the rotational couplet right there. There's our outbounds and our inbounds right in through there. So good vertical extent over 10,000 feet. It's about the best view of it right there. Kind of hard to see. Not a typical interrogation tool, but it's good for emphasizing concepts, etc. There we go. We got a little bit of NROT excited there, 1.01, and as we go up in elevation, it kind of stays in the green area, but all right, so we also got another tornado warning up on the north end of that line, and not seeing the greatest of couplets there, but we're up pretty high still, 6,000 feet. So they are warning on that part of the cell too, and it's moving to the southeast, it looks like. All right, let's step it ahead a couple more elevation volume scans. And there's our inflow notch. Let's see if we can't get a good cross section through there. And there's our bounded weak echo region right there. Here's our updraft. See our cross section goes through the inflow notch. Then we have this descending downdraft. There's the updraft, main downdraft, and got some good velocity or good DBZ values up there. Over 57, so probably some large hail well above the freezing level and the minus 20. So we can take a look and see if we still got, I'm going to go back to 2 panels. See what our rotational couplet looks like. It's getting a little more convergent than, so some of our stronger outbounds are down here, kind of along the same radial line as our inbounds. So not good for rotation, but showing some good strong convergence. Outbounds heading this way, inbounds heading this way, converging about right there. Showing some good convergence up around 6,000 feet there.